I also want to mention that this is just an overview of where we are halfway in our budget. Since this is just an overview, if there's any information that you see here that you have questions about or that you want more information, please let us know, and we will be happy to get that for you from whoever in that department would handle that. So I will start, and I have 2 computers to operate, so I'm pretty sure I can do this, even though I'm not 16. Okay, we'll start with this first slide, which is, I chose this picture because it seems like this is the most favorite fountain of everybody, except for of course, our famous fountain. This, of course, is on our new avenue, and it's a beautiful fountain, and lots of people spend time there looking at it. So this is a beautiful part of our town right now, and I'll talk about that later. And it's not moving. We dropped it before. Hang on.
So this is the state.
I can run it if you want me to.
Okay. And Shauna put this whole thing together. She knows every slide. We can work together on it. All right, this is a quarterly financial report. We'll start off with our finances. And like I said, this is just an overview to, even though there's quite a few slides, I'm sure some people might have added questions about more about our finances. The first slide, let's look at this. It's all funds, revenues. And this is basically showing you how the pie divides up between our operating expenses, which is 34%, capital projects 49%, and you see the smaller slices of the pie, HERF 5%. We're always interested in that, comes from the state. The general fund is the town's main operating fund and is used to fund general government operations, including police and fire, parks, community center, and other funds are restricted for specific purposes. Okay, here are by source our revenues. And we have local sales tax gives us 52%, state sales tax 15%, state income tax 21%, and other is 9%. Fountain Hills local sales tax and state shared revenues account for approximately 88% of the operating funds. General fund revenues are at 96.4% of the budget. And this is a good way to see our local sales tax and where we are through the past several years. Local sales tax represents 52% of the operating fund revenue, and it's increased 3.3% over the prior year. So you can see what we've budgeted for the year and where we are right now, what our average is, and it looks like we're pretty much on track. Here's retail. Retail is, of course, very important to us, the bulk of our sales tax. And you can see where we are in 14-15 as opposed to the budget. So we're above the 5-year average. Restaurants. Restaurants are doing very well over past years and much better over the 5-year average. And it looks like we will make that budget. Telecom is where we budgeted a little bit lower on that, but right now we're doing pretty good on that, and that's all of our communication that's in town, Cox and all of that. Local sales tax construction. We haven't had too much construction. This is including, I believe, the Adero Canyon is figured in there, but we are starting to see a lot more construction in town with Crestview and Palatial Estates, Eagle's Nest. So hopefully, with finishing up those developments and looking forward to March of 2016, where we might be hearing something about the state trust land, that would be our last big development to come in. And this is a breakdown of our operating fund expenditures by department, comparing the last fiscal year with this fiscal year. As you can see, there is not much change from year to year. The court did go down. That's nice to see. Fire and emergency medical pretty much stayed the same. Law enforcement increased only as their expenses increased. There was a slight rise in administration, and I did ask our financial department to give me an explanation of that because it does look pretty high. So I do want to tell you what that extra $400,000 is. And his answer is that we transferred the necessary funding for the MPC debt service payment earlier than in the previous year. The amount of that transfer was $300,000. We established the new Division of Economic Development and budgeted it for the first time in 14-15. The amount budgeted was $90,000, and there were also some minor fluctuations. So just like you, I wanted to know where all that extra money is accounted. And so you can see in the pie is a good way to really see the breakdown on where all of your tax money goes. A big chunk of it is fire and emergency and law enforcement. That's the biggest part of the pie. Highway User Fund. You'll hear that term a lot, though you will probably hear it referred to as HERF. It's one thing about the state is I've learned they love acronyms. I think they should have a class for every council person in acronyms because they don't like to say Highway User Revenue Fund. They have to say HERF, just like they say VLT, which is the Vehicle License Tax. But we know what it is, and it's the money that the HERF is what we get, our portion of gasoline tax that comes to us from the state. And VLT is from the Vehicle License Tax, and we can only use that for maintenance on our roads. And that's where we're getting all that extra money from, the VLT. This just is a chart of restricted funds. Everybody knows that, you know, we have the Mountain Preserve that was purchased several years ago, the building of the community center, the library, museum, the town hall is already paid for. But we will look to the preserve to be finished in 2016, the community center 2020, and the library museum also in 2020. Operating fund revenues and expenditures are facing challenges in the current year. So even though we're doing okay, we're just getting by and we could be doing better. Reserve fund balances remain acceptable for all funds. Operating fund revenues are 3.6% under budget, but higher 6.3% than last fiscal year. Operating fund expenditures are 5.7% over budget and 11.6% higher than last fiscal year. So that it sounds like we're doing okay, but remember there's not a lot of money left over. There's not a lot in contingency, so we do have to very carefully watch our budget on what we spend our money on. Pavement management remains a priority and is funded through the HERF, the Highway User Revenue Fund that comes from the state, and the Vehicle License Tax revenue. Local economic indicators remain stable. Okay, now we get into economic development. Everybody knows that we've hired a new economic development specialist, Scott Cooper, and he's been doing just a fabulous job. First thing he did was he had to map the whole town, what space is available. Someone calls him up and says, you know, I want to move to Fountain Hills and I need, 5,000 square feet. Well, he's got it all mapped out now and he can take them to look at the properties that we have available. He has an ED site, fountainhillsed.org, and also a logo. And I wanted to tell you about the four new, well, one is just an expansion, but these are new to Fountain Hills. And let's start out with the Tractor Supply Company. Construction is underway for the new 21,000 square foot retail store located at Shea and Monterey, and we've already been told that their annual revenue is about $4 million, so we hope to get good tax money out of that. This is an interesting one. Cupie Egg World Trading. I'm sure you've never heard of it because I never did. Nicknamed Cute. It's a subsidiary of Cupie Corporation. I'm sure that doesn't help much either. It happens to be the largest mayonnaise company and egg products company in Japan. It was founded in 2014, and they purchase egg products for Cupie sales system, and they buy eggs and egg products worldwide. Besides the office in Fountain Hills, Cute maintains offices in Amsterdam, Holland, and the corporate office in Tokyo, Japan. What they do is they buy up all these eggs and they reduce them to a powdered form, and they sell them all over the world like that. It's something I didn't know about, but I just found out from today from someone who's from Germany who says that's very common in Germany to buy the eggs in the powdered form and cook with it that way. So we actually have their office right here where they're managing all of this. It's pretty remarkable. Then we also have the Sun-Baked Pastry Shop, which is a German-style bakery they relocated from the East Coast. The family visited Fountain Hills, and they thought about locating. That became a reality for them. They sold their successful bakery in Maryland and ultimately decided to open the one right here in our downtown. And they're located on Parkview, right near Phil's. The fourth one is Prevco, Subsea Housing. Now, Prevco's been here for a while, but they've made some changes to their facility. They have moved, and now they've expanded. They manufacture housings for electronic equipment and cameras used at deep sea levels and other harsh environments. Their expansion involved a 15-ton testing cylinder that will allow them to test undersea vessels at simulated depths around 30,000 feet. That's the only one of its kind in Arizona. I don't know if there's any others anywhere else. I've never heard of them, but it's amazing that they're here, and the people that run it also live here. So the beginnings of creating economic development brand for Fountain Hills were launched. Our new economic special website, marketing logo, social media campaign, all being used as tools and a foundation for traditional and new media marketing. So all in all, our department's doing a great job. Community services. This is what community services covers. Recreation. They now cover tourism, parks, preserve, senior services, community center, public art, commissions, community services advisory, and McDowell Mountain Preservation. Here we are all excited that our 4th of July was back. Volunteer Committee and Town presented the first 4th of July event in Fountain Hills in more than a decade. And I know there were estimated about 10,000 people out there from all over Fountain Hills watching from somewhere the great fireworks. And there was also a little train that rode around the park and gave kids rides, and of course there was music and entertainment, and it was a really fun event, and it will be back next year. Recreation. We continue to host special events in Fountain Hills by collaborating, and we collaborate with Sami Fine Jewelry for Love in the Hills, which she just had on Valentine's Day, and Halloween in the Hills. Pakistan Information and Cultural Organization for the Basant Mela, which is the Kite Festival, and that is going to be the first Saturday in March. Town hosts also special events. Yes, that's me holding that big mug of beer. They made me do it. Concerts in the park, movies in the park, extravaganza, ballet under the stars, 25th anniversary of Fountain Hills. We also partner with organizations so that we could bring more events to Fountain Hills like Oktoberfest and the St. Patrick's Day celebration. There's one thing our residents always asked us for, that is, we want in-town events. We don't want to travel somewhere else for St. Patrick's Day. We want to have things right here at home. So because of our many organizations that put these on, and with the help of the town, which lets them use the park if they are nonprofit, that we were able to bring lots of events here for our very own residents. Okay, and we had our 24th annual Turkey Trot. This is just so popular. 5K and fitness walk. It was the largest ever with 1,731 participants. 1,238 were runners and 493 were walkers. Fountain Hills Community Services Department was awarded the Outstanding Cultural Awareness Program from Arizona Parks and Recreation Association for the Chinese Lantern and Folk Festival. Okay, let's talk about tourism. We had the addition of our new full-time tourism coordinator, and she worked on new marketing and advertising campaigns, branding Experience Fountain Hills campaign, redesigned the dining and visitors guides, and had ad placements in Phoenix Magazine, Giant Spring Training Field, and TripAdvisor. We also did ads during the Super Bowl. With so many people coming to town, that certainly made sense. Tourism, here's our redesigned publications, such as the dining guide, and we do a limited production as far as print copies. It's always online, easy for us to change online, and then for events that we know coming up, we can easily print more copies. This makes it, it's smart to do it this way, just in case anything changes. We get new restaurants in town, we can easily add them and have an accurate dining guide every time we give it out at different events. For tourism, we have promotion of over 40 special events every year, and we have our completely redesigned website. So we have the new visitor's guide is right outside in the lobby. You can pick up one and take a look at it and see what a great job that they've done with the new visitor's guide. Parks. Okay, we have coordinated with the Greening of Downtown Committee for the installation of 14 additional trees in Fountain Park. We've upgraded the disc golf course baskets and the tee signs, and maybe you saw them out this weekend. And during the week, they've been out there practicing and playing, and they're going to have their big championship here. Installed sod in front of the amphitheater. Coordinated with volunteers to add plants to the wildflower garden. And we added additional impact surface material to Four Peaks and Fountain Park playgrounds. Make a Difference Day event projects were at Golden Eagle Park and Fountain Park. Also Make a Difference, of course, is helping the residents also that live here. So besides town projects, we did many projects all over for residents who couldn't do these themselves. We installed Everplay water feature and a super scoop at Golden Eagle Park Playground for the 5 to 12-year-olds, resurfaced Four Peaks tennis courts, crack repair, and color coding Golden Eagle Park tennis courts. So we're starting to do a lot of infrastructure repair and want people to make use of the tennis courts and the facilities, but we have to keep them in good condition. This is our FIT. I guess we use acronyms too. Fountain Hills Integrated Trails. The Falcon Trail was completed and the trailhead signage installed. So now we have the Civic Center Trail completed, the Falcon Trail. Falcon Trail, of course, as you can guess, goes around the high school. And basically what this is a series of interconnecting sidewalks. People who cannot hike or who just want to go for a walk, but they want to know how far they're going, they can get on one of these sidewalk trails and follow the signs, and they will know how far they're going. This is also for people who just can't hike or do anything like that. They can just get out and walk, and so this is a good exercise. It's a perfect weather for everybody to get out. Okay, 1 second. Okay, dedication of the Andrews Kinsey Trail was November 7th, 2014. And there couldn't have been any two better individuals to name this trail after than our own Roy Kinsey and Chet Andrews from Scottsdale. Chet was pretty much Roy's counterpart, who was responsible for the trails in Scottsdale and the preserve. And this was a great dedication of that trail and giving Roy a beautiful plaque from the town to thank him for all the work that he did. Roy Kinsey, as most everybody knows who's been here for a while, was the spearhead person to preserve the mountains. And single-handedly, he did this with rallying just a small group of preserve interested people, and Ed Key being one of them, who I see is here with us today, and just preserving these beautiful mountains for our kids and grandkids. So Roy Kinsey, a longtime member, previous chair of the McDowell Mountain Preservation Committee and the Fountain Hills Sonoran Conservancy, we were able to salute him by naming the trail after him. And by the way, Roy did not want the trail named just after him. So when they asked him if they put Chet Andrews' name on it, then he agreed. But he's a very humble man besides. Senior services, wow, they are always busy. 1,199 members in 2014. 33 programs offered per month, plus educational presentations and special events. American Sign Language, diabetes management, poetry club were added. Home-delivered meals provided 4,799 meals in 13-14. And of course, that's all done by volunteers. Community Center. The mission of the Community Center: provide a gathering place for civic, nonprofit, and community events. And you can see all the wonderful events that we have there. It's just a few of them. The blood drive, just to point out that one, since we are celebrating that today. And but all of these great events that we have are just for Fountain Hills people to give them this feeling of community, this in-house programs. There's so much more that's there that I would urge you that if you're interested at all in the community center programs, that you would take a look at what they have, because there's something there for everyone. And they have a great activity center. We promote the arts. Okay. Promote the arts, monthly art display by local and regional groups, Fountain Hills Photo Club, Fountain Hills Cultural and Civic Association, Juried Art Show. There's 2 new public art pieces added in the lobby. Gone Dancer 2, that's the kind of scary one at the top there. Mother Earth and Father Sky. Okay. And let's see, donated art pieces in 2014. Everybody knows that all of our art pieces, except the one that's outside Town Hall and the one that's in the lobby, are all donated. No town money is used to purchase these. So Fred and Ginger and the Man in the Moon, located in Fountain Park. The Tin Man, and we had Hugs and Kitten, located in the Centennial Circle. Gone Dancer 2 and Mother Earth and Sky, located in the Community Center. Tin Man's a big popular one. Okay, development services. All right, we're going to talk about roads. Notice to proceed for construction was issued on September 15, 2014, and the construction contract is for a 9-month duration. Project will include traffic signal and intersection improvements at Saguaro Boulevard, drainage improvements, add a 3rd lane west of Saguaro Boulevard, and mill and overlay existing asphalts. Okay. And Saguaro Boulevard reconstruction. Notice to proceed for construction was issued on February 2nd, 2015, and the construction contract is for a 9-month duration. So, you know, we've got some inconvenience coming up, but in the end, it's going to look like it's going to be a brand new road. We're going to be very proud of it. If you want more project information or to sign up for project updates via email, you can go to www.saguaroboulevard.com. That's going to keep everybody up to date. And I asked our engineers to give us pretty pictures, and that's the best they could do. That's because they're engineers. Avenue of the Fountains, median improvements. Wow, do we not love the way it looks? I just sit out there sometimes to work for a few hours, and everybody passing me by, most of them walking dogs, saying how much they truly enjoy the beautiful Fountain Hills median, going down the Avenue of the Fountains median. And I have seen quite a few people also using walkers and even their scooters, saying that they're so happy because they were never able to get on that median before because it was just grass. And now when we have our farmers market, every resident can enjoy it rather than having to drive up in their cars. So it's a beautiful place with beautiful fountains. Everybody always asks me about the fountain on the end that's not repaired yet. That will be done with SAGUARO Boulevard improvements. So we do have a nice fountain plan for that. Recycling. In 2014, the town of Fountain Hills diverted approximately 24% of all refuse collected as part of the curbside trash and recycling program. This is about 2,350 tons of various recyclable materials. And that's our Republic Services truck there that picks everything up. And this is our community grant program, which is in its second year. As part of the curbside recycling program, Republic Services has introduced the annual My Republic Rewards Community Grant Program. Republic Services has donated $10,000 to the program, which is designed to help not-for-profit organizations fund community projects. The first recipient of the grant was the Downtown Greening Committee in 2014, and they made the beautiful improvements that we see to Fountain Park. The new committee is already formed. They've already met, and they are on their way to talking to different groups, organizations, making them aware that the rewards program is going on right now and to submit your project. So if you are a nonprofit group and you have a project that you feel would benefit the entire community, you can go on the town website where we have all of the applications and information, or you can call us and we'll help you get all that information so that you can apply for the grant. And we certainly do thank Republic Services for the grant. We were the first town pilot project to get that grant, and we certainly are very happy to have it. Now we talk about the fire department. Okay. Fire department, 2014. Wow, what have they been up to? They responded to over 3,000 calls for service. 81,000 in property fire loss, over 2.8 million worth of property saved from fire damage. Emergency medical service, of course, they also provide us with. They also conduct fire prevention, coordinated 420 business and construction inspections. They reviewed 272 new construction plans. And public education. They participated in over 60 public education events last year, including school presentations, tours, and fire safety demonstrations. Other fire department programs continue to sponsor the Active Fire Explorer program for high school age youth. Wildlife encounters are part of life when living in the desert environment. Hundreds of snakes were relocated, helping to keep residents and snakes safe. Okay. Other fire department programs, 146 Fountain Hills care responses, 92 child car seats installed. I remember we got a car seat for my grandson, and they're so complicated now. You wouldn't want to put one together without getting an expert opinion on how to do it. And they're very happy to help you do that so that you do it properly. New portable radios were purchased to replace the older radios. These new radios have the ability to talk to our surrounding mutual aid fire departments that are on a different radio frequency, increasing the effectiveness, safety when working together at larger incidents. Law enforcement, covered by the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office. School resource officer, we have one resource officer, continued presence in the high school and middle school, and Jill has been our resource officer for many years now. Drug and alcohol incidents have decreased at both schools. Text-a-tip continues to grow in use. Midnight Madness participation has continued to increase, and the partnership with the town remains strong. And that's Deputy Jill Oshner, and she does a lot of work with especially the middle school kids. Text-a-tip, this has become very popular among the kids because it's totally anonymous and they are really starting to use it. We received over 200 tips. There's a 6-minute MCSO response time. 60 park trash cans have the directions on what to do, and of course it's not only limited to students, that anyone in the community can also use it to call in something that they see. 70 school placards and multiple buses also have the text-a-tip instructions, and there's over 175 businesses that advertise the program. This is a great program. The kids use it because it's totally anonymous. There is no way that we can know who sent the tip, and this has allowed the police to find especially drinking and drug parties that are at homes when parents are not around. We have this permanent drug disposal box, which is right here on the first floor in Town Hall, located right outside the police department office. The Fountain Hills Coalition, the Town of Fountain Hills, and the Maricopa County Sheriff's Office partnered together for the permanent drug disposal solution. The prescription drug drop-off box is located in the Town Hall, like it just said, right outside. And you can bring any type of medication. You know, don't bring the bottles, just put them all in bags and just dump them in there, no liquids. However, just pills like that instead of disposing of them in your trash or leaving them in your medicine cabinets where kids can find them. Better to get rid of them. We're usually we're surprised at how much that box has to be emptied. Many times people go and they knock on the window over there and say, I can't fit mine in there because it's overflowing. So they've actually increased the amount of time that they are emptying it. However, I believe that Sun City has more than us right now. They're ahead on the drug collection, but we might be second. Embracing the community we serve. Midnight Madness events are held monthly in the town of Fountain Hills for the middle school students. Events are usually on Friday nights to give the students a safe and healthy place to go for entertainment. Embracing the community we serve, let's have a cup of coffee together with a cop. And they've had these around town. And the picture there shows us in Starbucks. They've also had it at Mountain View Coffee. People stop in, residents, and just to chat with the deputies. And here you see that the sheriff was there. Captain Latorno was there. There was the sergeant there, and there were several deputies. And lots of people stopped in just to be social, to get to know them. But also there were a few residents that decided to take the opportunity to talk to them about something that they always wanted to say. So it's a good, friendly, social event, and the people feel very relaxed being around the police. Okay, here's our municipal court, where we also have teen court. 18 cases in 2014, 5 formal teen court hearings, 13 teen court cases decided by the teen jury panel. And here's our judge, Melton, appointed in April of 2014. Operations continuing successfully with our new presiding judge. Court exceeds all Supreme Court mandates for case processing time. Valuable contributions by town boards and commissions. These are our various boards. I didn't write long descriptions of these. You can easily look these up or ask us if you're interested in specifics on what they do. Or if you're interested in volunteering, we very often have open seats. Board of Adjustment, Community Services Advisory Commission, McDowell Mountain Preservation Commission, Municipal Property Corporation, Planning and Zoning Commission, Public Safety Commission, and the Strategic Planning Advisory Commission. Volunteer program. Boy, we have a great volunteer program. Provides opportunity for residents to actively participate in and make meaningful contributions to the operations of the town. Provides volunteers with a positive, pleasant service experience. Builds public awareness of the operations of the town government. Develops closer ties to the community and increases and supports our staff services. 700 plus volunteers, and I'm not going to read them all. You can see how they are involved in the community, and the list just grows and grows. We have people in town hall helping us, parks, all of our facilities have volunteers. Every event that we have volunteers. Our volunteer coordinator maintains the database, and she knows what everybody likes to do and when they like to do it, so she knows who to call. Lots of our winter visitors, once they get here, they sign up and say, I'm ready, I'm back, I'm going to volunteer. But we do have lots of permanent residents that also volunteer in whatever is interesting to them. Give a Lift program. This is an amazing program. These are volunteers who use their own cars to take residents to doctor's appointments, to the hospital when they have to go, to physical therapy. They do this with their own cars. They supply their own gas. They get nothing for it except a really big thank you from the person who has no other way of getting to their appointment. And they provided 60 rides within a 6-week span for a resident who was undergoing radiation treatment. They're filling a gap in the transportation needs. A volunteer created a brochure on the program that was distributed in the medical community. Of course, they added drivers needed, anybody who wanted to volunteer for that program. But they're just wonderful people that do this, and it's very expensive for residents if you have to go 3 times a week down to the hospital by a taxi. So this is certainly saving them a lot of money. Okay, Make a Difference Day. Oh, that's a picture of my Mayor's Youth Council. They do a lot of volunteer work around town. It's the 6th year for the program, 47 service projects for residents who are homebound, elderly, or without resources or without relatives. Partnership with local businesses and volunteer organizations. We had 315 volunteers participating this year. We are always in need for this particular day of sponsorships, tool donations, volunteers with electrical, plumbing, and carpentry skills. But if you have no skill at all, just a desire to help, we can find something that you could do. No one is more cherished in this world than someone who lightens the burden of another. And here's my Mayor's Youth Council. 18 members in 2014-15 school year. This is what they did. They visited the state capitol just actually yesterday, and Capitol hosted by our state senator Kavanagh. We had an overnight retreat where we slept overnight on the floor in the community center, and that was painful but necessary. The midnight ice cream was fun, though. Work projects for Make a Difference Day. They've helped out at Turkey Trot. Somebody's always volunteered to put a costume on. And at the holiday celebration, they volunteered with the program there. We have our own Adopt a Street, which is Westby, and we go out periodically to clean it. We have monthly meetings with each department in order to understand how local government works. It's a dynamic group of high school students. They're wonderful. They'll do anything we ask. And they're also so busy at school because they're all A students and they're all in so much other sports and activities, yet they still make time for their town. So we should be very proud of them. And here are some of our terrific volunteers. I wanted to see some of the pictures of our great volunteers that we have doing various tasks and participating in the events. And here's some more of our wonderful volunteers. I'm sure some of you might see your picture there. If not, you know a lot of these people. Okay? And here's some more of them. Wonderful volunteers. Oh, look at Ken with his Hawaiian look. There you are. Ken was also a volunteer. A lot of the staff volunteer also for our different events too. And that's wonderful that they give up their time. If you're interested in volunteering, of course, we would add this. We're always looking for residents who wish to share their time, talent, and passions in order to make Fountain Hills a better place to live. All you do is have to come in for a volunteer application. And it's very easy to volunteer. And of course, we always say to people, you give up as much time as you want to give and in whatever you find interesting. And we have so many volunteers and we love them all. And that's what makes Fountain Hills a great place to live. And that's it. I'm done. I hope that wasn't too painful. A little bit long, but.